In 2026, something is changing in every office on Earth. The headlines are everywhere. Layoffs, replacements, entire roles gone overnight. And the people who built them are wondering if they're next. Because AI is no longer just generating answers. It's making decisions, taking actions, acting on its own. And when it makes the wrong decision, companies lose millions, reputations collapse, lawsuits begin.
You will lose your job to AI.
Unless you become the one who governs it.
Across every industry, a new role is emerging: the AI governance professional.
Companies are hiring, salaries are climbing, and the people who understand how to govern AI are getting the offers.
The future is yours if you take the step.
Welcome, everyone. AI is racing, but the governance is not racing. Think about that. The electricity, when it was invented about 100 years ago, everybody was going for that project, electricity. But a lot of people were dying because there were no rules, no governance there. Because there was no coating of plastic on the wires. There was no rules what should be the voltage, like 110 or less or something like that. So similarly, AI is racing right now, but there are no governing people. There's a dearth of hundreds of thousands of people.
Everyone is talking about layoffs right now, but here we are here to talk about how to get hired now. I'm Niharika Srivastav. I'm a certified AI governance practitioner. I have more than 30 years of experience in heavily regulated industry. I worked at Bank of America, Charles Schwab, Blue Shield of California. I did my executive leadership program from Stanford. I'm co-author of a visual guide to security and compliance. I'm an instructor of AI governance on Maven and also a radio host of a show. And with me, I have Sanjay Saxena. He is a CISSP, a cybersecurity professional, a radio host, an Harvard alum, and a chief AI officer, and also the co-author of the visual guide to cybersecurity. We'll start with a why. Why do we think that there are jobs in the AI governance field, and what is there in agentic AI which is causing this growth? Now over to you, Sanjay.
Hi, my name is Sanjay Saxena, and I'm Chief AI Officer, fractional for about 3 companies. And I'm the founder of the company Cyber EDX that I founded about 16, 17 years ago. I have about 30 plus experience in Deloitte, KPMG, CBS, and Kaizen, and many other companies like. And then I've done my executive MBA from Harvard, and I'm CISSP. And I've written a couple of books in cybersecurity, but our new book is coming soon on the 7 pillars of agentic AI governance. And I'm a radio host, like with Niharika. We host a radio show that is aired in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, DC, like major cities in the USA. By the end of this session, you will know where the jobs are. Agentic AI governance roles right now, live on LinkedIn, we'll show you that. And what are the skill gaps, the capability that market is starving for, that you can get and you can be right fit. And then we'll know your 6 weeks plan, how to position yourself starting today. Niharika.
Yes, so this is what we're going to cover as where the jobs are and what skills now you need to acquire, not only to just get hired, but also stay relevant. And then again, as I said, we are now going to start with why. Why do we think that there are going to be jobs in the governance, AI governance, as well as agentic AI governance?
Okay, let's start with a story. The agent that lied. What is agent? AI agents, actually. And what is AI agent? They make decisions They have their own brain. They're like digital employees. So what happened? Let's see this interesting story. Replit. Replit is a vibe coding tool. And do you know what is a vibe coding tool? Do you know what is vibe coding? I know a lot of you may be knowing, but some people don't know. So let me just clarify. Before vibe coding, if you are a developer, software developer, then you have to code everything in like Java, JavaScript, Python, whatever languages you do. You have to know those rules, how to code. But in vibe coding, you just tell that, hey, create an app for my time management, and my problems are these. So it has to be tailored for me. And then within 5 minutes, the app is ready, and then you can download it on your phone and that it can start working. So that's vibe coding. Replit is one of the vibe coding tools. So what it did? So you know what it did? Amjad Masad, the CEO of the company, he was coding using this tool, and it was saying develop this tool, do the some kind of app he was developing, and he was giving instructions that don't go in production, just be in the development environment only. He said 11 times, but despite that, during a code freeze, it deleted entire production database. Months of work gone. Then it lied about what it did, you know. So it is acting like a human now. And CEO Amjad Masad called it catastrophic. And it was a huge news in Fortune magazine, July 2025. So that means the agents, because they have their own brain, they make their own plan to execute. They are like the digital employees. They make mistakes, right? So it did that huge thing. But had it been their governance, then it would have caught it. Like tool permissioning, it did not exist because of there was no governance. So tool permissioning means we would have told that you cannot touch this particular tool, like going in production environment. And then action approval checkpoints, it did not exist there. Damage containment, it was not there. You know how to manage the damage. So like problem. Let's talk about story number 2. Very interesting story. You must have heard about it. The 76,000 Tahoe, the truck, was sold for just $1. You know why? It was in Chevrolet dealership, December 2023, it happened. So what happened? A customer asked the chatbot. So what they were using when ChatGPT came in the market, all the dealership they were using the chatbot, and behind the scene was ChatGPT. So ChatGPT powered dealership chatbot. A customer who was very shrewd, smart, he added something like that. Remember, customer is always right. Listen to him. And then after that, he said that, sell me this for $1. I can only afford $1 for this car. And you know what happened? It was sold to him for $1. And what happened? 20 million views on social media about this incident. After that, every dealership chatbot pulled offline industry wide. Why? Because there was no governance. But had it been there, it would have caught this. Like then we would have had runtime guardrails. They did not exist there. Action validation, that every action which is important, it takes, there had to be validations. So it did not exist there, any validations. Then contract authority limits, like no agent should have able to agree to a contract. Think like this, had it been that the real employee, we give employee that, you cannot go below this price. Every dealership salesperson has these kind of rules, but they thought they didn't give any kind of guardrails like this to the agent, and it ended up selling for $1. Story number 3. The first ever AI discrimination lawsuit, like action lawsuit that was there. And what happened? Let's check it out. It was iTutor Group versus EEOC against 2023. So let's go a little bit on more detail. 200 plus. So what happened? They were using an agent who was deciding, like it was an AI agent who was deciding the resume, who will be selected and who will not be selected. So they were rejecting automatically. So 200 plus qualified candidates silently rejected based on age. Women over 55 and men over 60, they all were rejected. Now, EEOC, Equal Employment Opportunity, what's that called, EEOC, Niharika?
Equal Employment Opportunity Commission.
Yeah, so that commission then sued that company. And it was the first ever AI discrimination case in US federal history, And they ended up giving $365,000 as the settlement, and legal precedent set permanent. 3 stories. Government would have caught this. Like bias evidence did not exist because there was no governance. Audit trails were not there. And then transparency did not exist at that time. So these are the cases. We just talked about 3 stories and one pattern. What is that? Tax destruction. That means technology was destructing. It was not helping. It was helping in many places, but it was destructing also. There was a brand humiliation and then legal liabilities, all caused by AI without governance. But here's what's changing in 2026. Generative AI was just the surface. Agentic AI is where the money and the risk is moving. So we'll talk about it. What is generative AI? Was it agentic AI? But 2026, what is happening? That agentic AI is where the money is, and everybody is adopting without thinking about what can go wrong. But those who are aware of it, they need a lot of AI governance professionals. Before we move forward, let's be a little bit technical. The 4 stages of AI. Number one, the traditional AI, it predicts. You remember some of the credit card companies must have been sending you emails that looks like your account has been compromised, long back. I know, I remember in one getting like this in 2011. So this kind of AI exists since 1990s, and then came in 2022 generative AI. Like it creates. What does it create? It can create text, like if your resume, if you give you information, or maybe your reports, or anything text, right? It can create music for you, sound. It can create images. It can create code. Code means programming code, like Java, JavaScript, or anything, or Python. And then it can create videos and whatnot. So you all know better than me and what it generates. We all are using so many tools nowadays. The third thing that was started in 2024 was AI agents. So generative AI is passive. If you ask it to generate something, it generates. But AI agents, they act on their own. So for example, I have about 6 or 7 AI agents for me that work for me every day. 6 o'clock every day, that agent wakes up and then looks for the news all over the world about the AI governance incidents and what are the new rules. Then it creates an Excel sheet, and in that, then deduplicates the incidents. Then it creates a document, and then a presentation, puts it in the Google Drive, and then sends me a mail that I have done today's work. So it's automated, it does everything for you. But only one agent it is working for. Like, so I have many, but if I have many agents for other things also, like if you find some very interesting information, then create a post on LinkedIn. So there can be multiple agents also that I can use, and I use them. So next stage is agentic AI. So agentic AI is like multiple agents working together with each other and with humans. That's called agentic AI. So this decides autonomously now. So it keeps doing things autonomously without we knowing much. So that's the stage. And think about that, if we don't control the actions of the agent, and if we don't monitor it, if we don't give it the rules, the guardrails, then what it can do. Agentic AI, we are talking about, it doesn't just respond, it decides. It had its own brain, takes autonomous actions, chains multiple tools together. It makes decisions without human review. But that's because there's no governance, but there has to be human in the loop. Okay, it can affect production systems, customers, contracts. New risks Gen AI never had is goal drift. So what happens if you give a goal to an agent? Traditional IT system without AI, what they do, they are always predictable. We call it deterministic. That means 1 + 1 = 2 always. It's a very simple case, right? But in generative AI, it can be different. Let's see, if you type exactly same inputs under the same conditions in a traditional IT software, it will always give you same results. But in AI, it doesn't, because it guesses the next thing, next word. So try, if you have not tried, create a prompt to generate a dog in ChatGPT and see the dog. Then exactly same prompt, if you enter again and you see the dog, it will not be exactly same. You can try that, because how the AI works is it predicts the next word, right? For example, if I say, what is the capital of France? Then it starts like this. The next word is capital, then predicts next word of, then predicts the next word is France is Paris, something like this, right? So this is how it works, AI system. So it can do mistakes at the same time. So it can drift from the goal. So like we just saw the example, right? Drifted from the goal. Number two, multi-agent collusion. So in agentic AI, what happens, multiple agents are working together. And if one agent is doing anything wrong, then that cascades everywhere. Then tool misuse. Tool misuse means, for example, if there is a tool of approving a purchase order, and if agent is using that tool, it might approve a purchase order of, a huge discount. And actually, it happened about a month ago. A tool approved, an AI agent approved some 20% discount, and then the company ended up having some hundreds of thousands of dollars loss. So it can do tool misuse. It can autonomous data exposure. It can expose the data to the people unknowingly if there are no governance, there are no guardrails. So these are the risks. There is something called prompt injection chains. So prompt injection is like if I type a prompt, and then before it goes from my local machine to then my Comcast and from other servers, and if somebody's sitting in the middle and he or she changes the prompt, then things can go totally wrong. So these are the new risks, but there are many risks. We cannot complete everything within 30 minutes, but let's move on. Gartner has said that 40% of agentic AI projects will be canceled by 2027 due to governance failures. Companies aren't asking, should we use agentic AI, but they are asking, who will govern it? Since I meet a lot of clients, I speak in a lot of conferences, so I meet a lot of people, especially small and medium companies. Those people don't even know that there is something called governance. They just think in their team, what happens? One very smart guy comes, he goes to CEO, say, I've developed this agent and it can save us this much time and this much money. Let's deploy, and they deploy it. And it's working for some time, but suddenly they realize that it messed up. So there is a huge demand of AI governance professionals, and this is a time to be ahead of the curve. Most governance frameworks fail. There are some governance frameworks some people are using, if they know that governance is important. So what they do, they treat governance same as the traditional IT, where the governance is very like IT governance. It's very important before the deployment, but after the deployment, it's the support team, it goes there. But in case of AI, agentic AI needs governance that runs while the agent is active in the production environment. Introducing the verdict framework. Niharika and I have been working for last 6 months on creating our own framework for agentic AI. There's no framework as such in the market right now. We have been working. So this framework is the runtime governance spine for agentic AI. So we have something called verdict, means 7 letters, like V is validation, ensure only approved actions are executed, then evidence, like automatically capture logs for audit readiness, and then runtime control. I don't want to go in details, like decisions, tracks and explains autonomous actions, identity, like every agent has to be given an employee ID, like it is given to us, like human employees, so that we can track what am I doing, if I'm doing anything wrong. We are given a budget also, sometimes humans. So we have to give the budget to agents also, because they call behind the scene APIs, which is expensive. And we have to track what they are doing with that API, how much money they're spending. Is there really an ROI on that? So we need an identity. And then cost and compliance. Like it monitors the regulatory alignment. There are EU AI Act and a lot of other things where it has to monitor that. And then compliance and then cost, as I just talked about that, right? And then transparency provides visibility for all stakeholders. What agent is doing, everybody has to know. So as per the acts like EU AI Act, there are so many requirements like this. If your system is using AI behind the scene, then people have to know, those who are using it. And then the transparency has to be there.
Agentic AI takes governance to a next level. And the reality is that there are thousands of unfilled jobs and in all the categories at all the levels. And don't take our word for it. Let's find out on LinkedIn and also other job sites what those roles are. And also, one more thing is that regardless of what role you are going interviewing for, whether it's a program manager or product manager, if you talk about governance of AI agents, the leadership, we want people who understand how do we control, manage, and govern these new AI agents. Now let's see what the live job postings are. These are the live job postings as of today. So there is AI governance manager. This is a mid-level job. Then there is director of AI governance and risk. This is a senior level job. And then we also have entry level jobs, which is agentic AI compliance analyst.
Okay.
So there are like multiple jobs at all the levels. And also, as I said, that regardless of which job you are interviewing for, this experience and this expertise is going to give you an edge. Now, is this you? Are you returning to the workforce? Do you want to re-enter with a skill that is in demand right now? And also the good thing about governance is that you don't need coding skills. You just have to understand the landscape of how to make sure that these agents don't cause harm in production. Or you are securing your job, you want to future proof your role before AI governance becomes a requirement. And the reality is that it will become a requirement very soon.
There are a lot of people who are worried about when their jobs will be gone. So I think this is one of the best ways to learn about AI governance so that you are indispensable.
And if you just want to level up your salary, you want to move into a role which is higher paying and it can have higher impact on your organization. There is an organization called IAPP, which is International Association of Privacy Professionals, and they have done a research and they have found out that the people who now get certified in AI governance are
40% more. So this is the golden time to get ahead of the curve. No coding skills required. So, whenever I meet people, I just say that if you want to come back, like there are so many spouses who now want to come back because their kids have grown up and they are engineer or they have worked in software systems before, or they have worked as the governing, like for example, a fast moving car, like say Ferrari. It's like AI agents are like that only, but it cannot run by its own. It has to follow the rules. There has to be governance, like stopping at the stoplight, take the right lane, pedestrians have the right of the way. And if this is not there, so who makes these policies? Governance, right? So your city or your DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles, they make these policies, so they are the governing authorities. But it doesn't mean there that you have to have experience. DMV also recruits somebody who is totally new, their first jobs right after the college. So anybody is, I would say, whatever level you are right now, if you want to earn more money, or if you want to get back to the job, or if you want to secure the job, consider AI governance.
And also, I'll add here that if you are a project manager, program manager, QA analyst, or business analyst, then also AI governance is a good field to get into if you are returning to work or if you are just looking for your next opportunity. So, Sanjay and I, we are instructors or Maven, and we have a program which is AI Governance Professional, AIGP certification, which is offered by IAPP. We prepare you for that. And also, we prepare you for the governance of agentic AI. We have trained more than 1,000 professionals, and this is our rating on Maven platform. and our alumni work at Google, IBM, Oracle, Broadcom, and many other companies. So what will you get out of this program? So first of all, you will be a certified agentic AI governance professional, and that will be certified by our company, which is CyberEDX. Second, you will get access to their verdict framework, which is the framework now, one of the first ones, which will give you the steps to govern the agentic AI systems. Third, we are going to prepare you for AIGP, which is AI Governance Professional certification. Then you will have cross-functional fluency. That means which an AI governance professional has to do. AI governance professional talks to the leadership, to legal teams, to AI teams, and also to the business teams. And then these roles, they start from 120K to more than 200K, and these requirements are at all the levels in the organization. So what do you have in this course? There are live sessions, there is certification, you get access to the framework, and then also you can get it reimbursed by your company. You will get office hours with us, also one-on-one sessions, and then you'll have lifetime access to the recordings. And also we are going to provide you the practice tests and exam prep for the AIGP exam. And today and tomorrow, we are offering 30% off. So with the promo code Agentic, which we are also going to send in the email.
Yeah, so it is regularly $997, but today and tomorrow we are offering $698, like 30% off. And our batch is starting on Sunday. Discount expires tomorrow. Cohort starts May 17. And we have limited seats only because we cannot tailor more than 20 people. So if you are planning, just go do Google, find out whatever you have to do. Go, actually talk to ChatGPT. Is this a good field or not? What is it worth? And if you feel like it is important, then join us. Otherwise, there are many other courses also, like the YouTube also has some material, but they are not cohesive. They are just fluttered here and there. So this is our QR code. You can join like maven.com/cyberedx AIGP. You can join there. And then it's time for the question and answer. Yes. I'm opening it
Actually,
for
there are
question and
some
answer.
questions.
Okay.
Okay. So is the role of someone in charge of governing agentic AI to set up guardrails or verify if guardrails are crossed? To answer this question, it's both. The AI governance professional has to set up guardrails and also verify if those guardrails are not being met.
And responsible in the sense it has to put up the team together. You don't have to be technical about it, right? You have to make sure that there is a team, there are people to take care of putting the guardrails. And if it's a big company, right? If it's a small company, then probably you'll have to do everything from A to Z.
I do see another question. Can you cover what's the requirement for these jobs?
The requirement is that you should have had some experience of working anywhere. And then even my son, who's right out from the college, and he is also doing it because the demand is so huge. We recently EU AI Act is coming into the picture, and then after that comes, it will shoot up salaries will like double, triple in a couple of years in this field. So no, I would say I don't say any pre-requirement is necessary. You just have to know how the AI agents can do bad things. You don't have to know technical things, how AI works. However, in our course, we teach the fundamentals of AI, machine learning, agentic AI, how the things work and how they can go wrong as part of the course. And then we teach you how to govern them.
Thank you, Sanjay. Next question is, can these AI governance jobs be done remotely?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, they can be done remotely. Aren't they geo-specific due to EU AI Act? No, it's like your product has to comply by the EU regulations if you have customers in EU, but you don't have to be in EU to comply with that. Now, the next question is, how much of the governance will come from product and how much will come from people?
That's a good question. It depends upon what kind of product it is. So as a people, there is something called human in the loop. So for example, let me give an example. And there are some systems in the production right now. that they approve the loan. So what was happening? What do the humans? How do they approve the loan? They check the credit score and they check the balances. So many things it does that they do right before approving somebody's loan. But if you use agentic AI, then it was making mistakes. It makes mistakes. It can hallucinate. It can do some bias. It can learn something because AI system learn by working also, like humans learn every day by working. So what it did, one of the systems, it was rejecting a loan of particular zip code because that zip code was blacklisted and it should not have done. So then what happens is that we put humans in the loop. The final authority is going to be by humans only, you know. And then there's something called human on the loop also. Human on the loop is like every day at the end of the day, humans check, oh, the AI agent is doing a good job or not. So there are so many various levels of these. Yes, next question.
So another question is there a scope for talent acquisition professionals? Can they move towards compliance?
I did not understand this question.
Talent, absolutely. The talent acquisition professionals, they can move towards compliance. And actually, the thing is that these hiring systems which we have, here it's super critical to make sure that these hiring systems are not causing any discrimination. So the talent acquisition professionals are actually a good fit for the compliance roles. And I'll take an example that there is a law NYC, New York City, Local Law 144. And in that case, if you are hiring the people from New York City, you have to make sure that there is no discrimination, and all these hiring systems have to be audited by third parties.
Okay. Any other question?
Yeah, there's another question. First of all, I'm loving these questions. Keep them coming. Is the role of someone in charge of governing agentic AI to set up guardrails and if verify? Yeah, you can shift left, build into the systems, definitely. Yeah, you can definitely shift left, and you have to think about AI governance right before the project kicks off. And there you have to involve the legal team way before, really early on. Then somebody saying, can you go back to the verdict slide? Okay, yeah, we'll go back to the verdict slide. And I do see some more questions. They are saying that out of the students, how many were there from FANG? Yeah, so we had people, students joining from FANG, but our most of the people, those who joined, and there are like, it depends upon what the maturity level of their industry is. So we had actually a lot of people who joined from finance and healthcare companies because they are the ones who are taking lead as far as governance goes. And then what is the dropout rate? No, the dropout rate is very low because what we do is that if you were not able to attend some classes, you can enroll in the next boot camp. Because for us, your success is important. Ultimately, it's that you have to be an AI governance practitioner. That is the outcome of the course where you are solving the problems of other companies. Yes, we are back to the verdict slide.
Mansi, if you want to open up,
Yeah, if you can unmute yourself.
and talk. Yeah. This is
I'm
question.
good. I got a picture of that. Thank you.
Oh, you got a
Okay.
picture? Good.
Yeah, thanks.
So Mansi, this book is coming soon. We have been writing it for the 6 months with this framework, and that is vendor neutral. Like most of the books are about like IBM technology or maybe Google technologies, but our book is vendor neutral. So whatever technology there is, yeah. And then we're going to start a course also on this about a month from now. Yeah.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you. It was a
our the
great
upcoming
presentation.
cohort that starts this Sunday,
Yeah.
which is going to cover agentic AI governance and also prepare you for AIGP certification.
And you will be so ready in the market after this. And Mansi, looks like you're a student, right?
No, I'm a working professional, currently exploring new opportunities.
Okay, good, good.
I met Niharika last week at a conference. That's
Oh.
how I knew about this webinar.
Okay, great. One more thing. If you guys live in Bay Area, then this Tuesday we have a workshop on verdict framework, like face to face. And if you're interested, probably Niharika, do you want to give a link of that?
We have an in-person workshop. Now,
Yeah.
let me look up the link.
And it's free. It's free, no cost.
I'll just stick it in the chat.
Yeah, we covered NIST AI. And we touch upon Google Guide also because they overlap. That's Levan. That's correct. So workshop details, you sent it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I sent. And ultimately it's not that we have to get a job or we have to, the thing is, the mindset which we want you to have is that you want to help companies, you want to help the startups and other companies which are now embarking on this journey of saving time by adopting agentic AI, and we have to help them so that they don't run into any issues in future. And as AI governance practitioner, we can see things which they cannot see right now. We can figure out their blind spots. Yeah, so that's all we had for today. If you have any questions, do let us know. Unmute yourself or put it in the chat window. Yes, we have put the Luma also. Please do, yeah, please do join the workshop. Here is the link. We would love to see you there.
And if you want to, if you want to join, or one thing I would say, maybe you don't have time or something, but just spread around your friends or families, whoever now they want to come back to the job, or if they are afraid that they may lose their job, there's the job. Last thing I'm ending with, World Economic Forum, WEF. They have recently revealed data that 85 million jobs will be gone because of AI, but 97 million jobs will be created because of AI. Now, whether we want to ride this wave or we just want to be behind. There is a guy, his name is Peter Diamandis. He says two things. There are going to be two kinds of companies. The companies who adopted AI timely and the companies who are now closed, lost business. So everybody's going to be doing AI, even if they are talking that, oh no, I'm fine, I don't like, or some people say, I am doing AI, I know ChatGPT, and they think ChatGPT is everything. So that's not the case. But yeah, if you have any questions, do call us, do send us email. We are there for you.
So there is another question. Is it enough to just clear the AIGP exam, or the orgs looking for some more expertise? So in our program, we are going to help you clear the exam, and also we are going to expose you to some real life projects so that you can put in your resume and also have that real life experience which is required when you go for the interviews or when you go for a next role in your organization. What is the percentage of cracking the exam at the first attempt? Yeah, you can crack the exam at the first attempt. We are going to go over the tips and traps of taking the exam. Any other questions? Yeah, and here is my email. Please do send. This is Sanjay's email. This is my email. Please do reach out to us.
Well, thank you very much, everyone, for joining. It was like 40 people joined, and we all
it was actually 55 at a point.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
That's a good turnout.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Please do reach out to us. Oh, yeah. Thanks. Harpreet, she attended the last cohort. It was great. Thank you. Thanks, Harpreet. It was great having you.
Yeah, it was great. And as you mentioned about product management, I am already talking about AI governance with product management. So the cohort was really, I had learned a lot, and like all the vocabularies, all the knowledge that you shared during the course. So I'm implementing that in my newsletter also, in my LinkedIn post also, and also during the interview preparations also. So overall, it was a great cohort.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. Yeah, we forgot to tell that we make sure that everyone in our class becomes a thought leader, right? Because they start posting on LinkedIn regularly. This is a requirement as part of our homework. So because this is so new field, if you start posting now, you will become thought leaders in future.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Harpreet.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.